What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 512 of Get Paid for Your Pad. We are your hosts, Jesper Rivers and Eric Muller. And today we are talking about a big opportunity that we currently have in our company because we are looking for new coaches to join our coaching team. So we're going to dive into exactly what the opportunity is and why it's so awesome to work with us, of course. Eric, what's up, man?
What's up, buddy? It is awesome working with us, huh?
I think so. We get pretty cool feedback from our team members in Overnight Success.
It's definitely gotten better over the last 6 months. I would say that because I think the first year was very hectic and crazy and a little all over the place. But now I feel like we're truly dialed in with the culture and how to run a team. So yeah, man, this is awesome, and I'm excited to see. I'm excited to talk about this, and I'm also excited to see who applies for this and who we could potentially work with, because as of now, like the coaches that we're working with, man, like I'm just super, I just feel like we're blessed to be able to work with the people that we're working with. It's pretty incredible. So it's gonna be a fun podcast, man.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we have an application open for a few weeks now at overnightsuccess.io/coach. So that's the page where you can find all the information that you need, the requirements. We have pretty strong conditions, requirements. Let's make that clear. We're really looking for high level coaches, people that run and have built a short-term rental business with over 100 units. Going through some of the applications that we've already received, it's pretty awesome to see, man. There's people from all over the world applying. And we just got an application from someone with 170 listings out of Romania, for example.
Oh, cool.
We've had applications from people in Spain, people in the States, of course. So it's just amazing to see the level of the people that are applying. And like one of the things that I love most about our coaching team, we have Rebecca, we have Jorge. These guys are like rock stars in their space, right? If you've been listening to the podcast, you're probably also familiar with them. But just how much we are learning from them as well, right? Because that's one thing I recognized every time we're on a call with the students. Like last Friday, we had a strategy call with all of our Legends X students, and it was the entire team on the call. And what I recognize is listening to everybody giving feedback on the questions that our students have. Like, we are all experts in a space, but we don't know everything. You don't know everything. I don't know everything. We all have different experiences. We have different specialties and skill sets, but together, the four of us is pretty much any question. Like, one of us can answer that question, right? From experience. Mm-hmm. So that's the power of our coaching team. And I think it's a unique opportunity to grow as a person as well, being a coach.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's the biggest part, that I love. Running a coaching company, being a coach myself, is like the impact that not only are we having on our students and their businesses, but also like where it forces me to grow in my life, my skill sets, my experience. It's like, I mean, to our previous podcast, we talked about our offsite and like the decisions that we had to make in that offsite, and decisions that we had to make in Free Wild and all of that. And it's like, at the end of the day, it's like, it's forcing us to take bigger action, because we recognize, like, as Legends X is growing and Overnight Success is growing, we're impacting more people through our programs. We have to experience more in business. We have to grow in business. We have to learn. Like, before this podcast, we're talking like, do we raise a few $1 million to put into one project, into our current project, or do we do and go and buy another project? And like, really making those decisions to understand how to grow as business owners, so then we can bring all of those experiences back to teaching our students, right? It's one of the greatest accountability factors that we have in our life and business. But also it's like one of the greatest growth factors that we have as well, is being able to coach. So, and I saw that, like, on that celebration call, or the strategy call that we had with the current Legends X class. One of the questions was from one of our students of, I believe he had a higher commission rate for his property management company, right? It was like 25%, where everybody else is around 20%, correct?
Yeah, I think it was charging 30.
30%.
Yeah.
Okay. So his commission was much higher. And his question was like, hey, I'm thinking I want this because of the standards that we're bringing, but I'm thinking about giving a promotion to new owners of like half of that for the first year just to get them signed on, blah, blah, blah. And then everyone's giving their feedback on, my personal experience of doing that stuff and Rebecca's, and we're all kind of figuring out how to do that. And then Jorge, as one of our coaches, speaks up and says like, hey, everything that you guys said is great. However, we did this across 500 listings in Central America, and this is what we found. It made a result. Like, this was the result of that. And we're all just like, well, okay, I guess we got to listen to Jorge here because he's got the most experience doing this. And this model doesn't work, or that marketing strategy doesn't work. Right. So right away, not only did we impact that student, and he's like, okay, we're not doing that. We're going to whole line. Everybody on that call, including all the coaches, were learned through that process. So,
Yeah.
as I said, I just, I feel super blessed working with the people that we're working with. It's
Yeah.
it's pretty incredible. So, and I'm excited to see who joins the team next.
Yeah, 100%. And for people listening, like I think I've been coaching or teaching since I was about 16 years old. I was helping my fellow school, which is how you call that, students, schoolmates, or
Sure.
people that
Yeah.
go to people in
Fellow
my class.
mates.
I was basically tutoring, right?
Tutoring. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and the moment I started tutoring, I realized that when you put yourself in a position of teaching something to another person, you immediately set the standard higher for yourself, and you immediately ask yourself different questions of like, hey, the way I'm doing it, is that the best way to do it? Because I don't want to be telling somebody how to do something if I'm not 100% certain that this is the best way. So it immediately pushes yourself to a higher level, right? So anybody who's listening right now, if like we are looking for a very specific type of CEO, right? We're looking for somebody who has experience of building a business to over 100 units, right? That's there's only a select few individuals that would qualify for that. But for everybody else, I would say think about a way that you can put yourself in the position of a teacher. Either it's like mentor somebody who's new to Airbnb, or start a little meeting group in your market, right? Lead a meeting group, a workshop, do something in your market where you're educating other people, even if it's like a Facebook group or whatever that is. Like, as soon as you put yourself in the position of like an expert or a teacher, it's going to push you to grow and to understand and to do set standards higher for yourself in your own business.
Right. Right. Yeah, 100%. I mean, we talked about this down in Mexico, Panama, about, what we're stepping into now of, we have like two main things that we're focused on in both of these businesses that we've never done at this scale. One is for overnight success, is investing very heavily into paid traffic to expand our reach, right? We've done that a little bit, but not to the level that we're going to take it starting, now, and moving through the future. And then two, for overnight, for Free Wild, is fundraising, right? Like, how do we actually, we have a ton of investors around us. What's the best way to structure it? Seed, versus, just straight investment into the properties, all of that. And I said, like, okay, well, we can read all the books, do all the things. We got to absorb that anyway. And that's just going to be what we do. But the fastest path to learning that I learned when I moved into the entrepreneur house was to organize meetup groups, or what we call mastermind dinners, where we invite a small group of high-level people over to our house. We cook dinner. We get a chef, if you can afford that, and we just kind of cook dinner, or just creating an experience and connecting, trying to think of like, who can I connect in this space who is really talented in what they're doing, but I can be the centerpiece to this and learn what all these experts are doing by giving them value in two ways. One, creating a cool experience for them. Two, is connecting them with other powerful people that
Mm.
they may be able to do business with, right? So that's a form of coaching as well, of is like creating that space and really learning that. It's really kind of something similar to what we do inside of Legends X, right? With the pod structure. That's how we came up with it, was realizing that, our education really comes from being surrounded by powerful people that are in the business, doing things, trying to solve the same problems we're trying to solve, implementing at the same pace that we're implementing, trying to achieve similar goals. So we're like, all right, Legends X, let's create pod systems to where we're connecting the best students together to help them grow. Right. So yeah, I mean, for kind of going back to what you said, it's like for the Legends X coach that we're looking for, they have to be running, a minimum of 100 units, right? 100 units or more to join the team. And we have a handful of other things, qualifications that's on the website. But for everybody else who's listening, it's like that could, and we get this a lot of like, hey, I want to be a coach. I want to teach people how to do this. Literally do that, because that's going to help you grow your business and be a better CEO and business owner, is helping somebody else either get started in the space. And it doesn't have to be a full type of coaching side like what we do. It's like you can literally just help somebody do one small little thing in their business, and you'll understand how to implement it better in yours. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm all about it, man. I love it. And I think regardless of what level it's at, we should all be doing this at some level.
Yeah, 100%. To add to that, I'm a strong believer that any positive impact that you put out in the world, any positive impact that you have on somebody else's life, I really believe it's in the long term that comes back to you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like the amount of emails that we get from people that we've never heard of who reach out to us and say like, "Hey, I've been listening to the podcast for like 3 years, been reading emails. I've never reached out, but I want to let you know that, I'm now at 50 units, I'm 100 units. And a lot of it is thanks to you guys, right? So we didn't even know that person. But a lot of times like these people, like they've gotten so much value that like they want to give back to
Yeah.
us, right? So we
Very
get a
cool.
lot of opportunities, um, to get value from other people because we've invested a lot in in what we're doing here, right? So yeah, I think the other thing I want to talk about is what are some other benefits of being a coach? Like other, obviously, just to kind of give some background on what the role looks like, right? Time commitment will be about, I would say, about 8 hours a week, so it wouldn't be like a full-time thing. Like I mentioned, like we have a team of coaches, right? So you'll be working directly with myself and Eric and our other coaches. It would be about 8 hours a week that the commitment would be like. Obviously, there's financial compensation, but I would say like the biggest benefit that you get from this type of role, we touched on it a little bit, is I wrote down like, first of all, is personal growth, right?
Mm-hmm.
It really pushes you to be better as a person, learning from the team, but making a positive impact on somebody's life is, in my opinion, that's one of the most fulfilling things that you can do as a person. And I will say one thing that I think is very unique in Legends X program is that the impact that we're having on our students, right? Because this is not a program that people join and then just kind of, half-ass it and quit,
Mm-hmm.
drop out, or things like
Yeah.
that, or don't take action. This whole program is every single week. Like we have action steps, like implement this system, right? Create this job scorecard. It's like every single week our students have to implement what we're teaching with action steps, and the coaches are there to keep them accountable and to support them through the process. So by the end of the program, like the students they've made so much progress in 90 days. And if we're looking at students who've gone through the program a year ago and where they're at now, it's kind of mind-blowing sometimes, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And to be able to be part of that, to be able to work with students and literally see them grow from week to week, and then a year later see like how their business has doubled or tripled. I mean, that's the biggest gift from being a coach, in my opinion.
Oh man, I couldn't agree more. I I was talking to Rebecca I think it was yesterday or the day before, because she and her partner Erica just bought a new hotel in Idlewild. I don't know if we told everybody that, but it was freaking awesome. It's like our coach that we, and good friend and legend member who's been with us from the beginning, now owns a hotel right around the corner from our hotel. And I'm like, this is freaking awesome, man. So I reached out to her. I'm like, hey, like obviously, we're working in the same little mountain town together, building these cool brands. How can we help each other? And, we're just going back and forth and bringing all these ideas. And she's just telling me what she had to go through. And dude, that would be an awesome podcast, is bring her on here and just kind of interview her of like, hey, how was that process of buying this hotel? What did you go through? What did you learn? All that stuff. I think the audience will love to hear that, because she, they dove into this, and they took over a hotel, and they had to move really fast on solving some major challenges immediately. And the speed of her solving those problems were just so impressive. But I asked her, she was telling me, she's like, with this and the other location and the other stuff we got going on, she's like, I don't, we are full. We are getting after it. We're trying to buy this other property. We're trying to build this thing. And I'm like, Rebecca, I'm just curious, like, how is this impacting Legends X? I was concerned that we might lose her. She's like, no, you're not losing me. I'm with Legends X as a coach. I have zero plans getting away from that. I'm like, why are you so attracted to being a coach here? Because clearly it's not the money. Like, obviously they make decent money being a coach. Rebecca makes decent money being a coach with us. And I asked her, I'm like, is it a money thing? She's like, no, it's 100%. It's two things. She's like, 100% impacting the students that I'm working with. She's like, it's unbelievable being able to see the results. And like, it's cool seeing Rebecca on these coaching calls too, because she's like celebrating in the moment with her students. Like, she has that emotional attachment to their businesses, which is freaking awesome. And she said, number two, it's being able to work directly with you and Jasper, because it's leading to this opportunity where now I have this new hotel and we get to work together and leverage each other. And like, I'm learning the way that you guys are doing business, and it's impacting my business, and so on and so forth. So I'm just like, man, this is so freaking cool that we get to do that. But not once. And same thing with Jorge. It's like, it's not the money on why they're being coaches, because they have large businesses making millions of dollars. It's all about the impact that they're having on the students, which I think is freaking awesome. And like, that has to be the number one criteria of what we're looking for working with somebody, is like, do you believe in the mission of what we're doing with Legends X and the people that we're impacting? And outside of that, it's like, okay, now let's look at your business to make sure that you're qualified to lead people. But yeah, Jorge is the same way. It's like, hey man, I want to impact people, and I want to work with you guys. So yeah, man, I think that the coaching side is probably one of the most personal rewarding things that you can do. And honestly, the way that you set up the fulfillment on this, like their requirements of being a coach and showing up, it's very doable, especially for people that are running busy businesses.
Yeah. But it's also, it also shows that, they're running so many units, and they have so much going on, but they still have free time, to do this coaching, right? Which is also interesting, because that's actually what we teach in the Legends X. And that's like one of the biggest results that our students get, is that they will grow from like 10 to 20, 30, or 40, but they'll actually have more free time when they're at that level than they had when they had like 5 and 10 listings and being the hectic host and doing all the work themselves. Right. So,
100%.
so yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing working with these people. And I think, to your point, like, you should never be a coach for the money, in my opinion, right? You should never be a teacher just for the money, right? Like, you have to have a passion for helping other people and having a positive impact, in their lives, because otherwise, like, you're not gonna be in it for a long time.
You got to be attached to it, man. You got to be emotionally attached. Samantha, obviously she runs a coaching business, and she's been a one-on-one coach for many years. And now people who reach out to her, offer a lot of money to buy her time, right? Of like, and someone just offered to or requested to do one-on-one coaching with her, and offered her an outrageous amount of money, like a very sizable amount, to where it grabbed her attention. And now she's thinking about it. She's like, do I do this? And she's like, this person's awesome. I love their business. I understand. She's like at the stage where I was 3-4 years ago. So I could bring so much value to this person, and so much. I'm like, okay, but at the end of the day, are you ready to be emotionally connected to this person's business and the outcome? And that's the number one factor. She's like, okay, I don't care about the money. This is something I would do for free. It's, do I want to emotionally attach to this? Right. And have you ever heard of the YouTube creator Mr. Beast?
Nope.
Oh man, you gotta look this guy up. He's out of his freaking mind. He's I think he's like 24, 25, but I think he has the most downloads or views, whatever, on YouTube on the entire platform. He's making multi-million-dollar videos, like full-on productions. Every single dollar he makes, he reinvests back into his videos, and they're full like movie set production type of videos for YouTube, right? He's the biggest content creator on that platform, which is not an easy thing to do. He's got multiple billions of views on his videos, right? This man still mentors people for free. He mentors other content creators for free. He talked about this on the Joe Rogan podcast, of his mindset behind it. He would literally just jump on and mentor people, jump on one-on-one phone calls with regular YouTube creators to mentor them on their platform. And he said the same exact thing. It's like, I love this business so much that I just want to support. I don't need the money. It's not about money. It's, I want to see actual growth in people's businesses. I want to solve those problems. I want to be part of that. Right. So that's the mindset. That's what we're looking for. It's like, the money's great, but at the end of the day, can you be connected to the outcome and want to be part of that impact?
Dude, I'm just looking at his YouTube channel. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
I can't believe this guy has 105 million subscribers.
Yeah.
That's
So
insane.
yeah, you got to listen to his podcast, because that is one of sorry. That is just one of multiple pages that he has. I'm looking at his page. He's got 17 billion views on one page alone. 17 billion. This guy's got multiple pages that have hundreds of millions of views on his pages, right? It's unbelievable what he does. And this guy still is mentoring other people that are just getting started, that want to grow and do stuff just like himself, right?
Yeah.
Which is unbelievable. So I see that factor in like world-class coaches. It's like the reason why, you and I decided, like, hey, our Legends X coaches, they had to have gone through the paces and really grown a business that is substantial, not just, 20 units or trying to figure it out. It's like people that have built businesses that have gotten real incredible results. And we're like, all right, at a bare minimum, they have to have experienced running 100 listings, because that forces you to understand everything from product to systems to people to profit, right? And now we can coach all the way up. So yeah, man, I love it. I'm excited to see who we bring in on this.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm a little distracted with this YouTube channel. This like blows my mind, man. This guy.
I know. If you guys haven't seen him, I would definitely recommend Mr. Beast. Also check out his Joe Rogan podcast.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I'm gonna listen to that. Last thing I'll mention about this is he gave his 100 millionth subscriber an island.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This dude is giving out islands. He gives out cars. He gives out money. It's pretty incredible what he does.
Yeah. It's sounds like a really interesting person. But yeah, man, like to your point, it just fulfills you. It makes life about more than yourself. I think that's one of the things that we learned at Tony Robbins conference too. It's like, you know how he talks about these different phases of your life where
Yep.
like different things become important. I can't remember the exact stages, but one of my biggest takeaway from that conference was just that you know we have different needs. Like everyone has a need for significance and certainty, uncertainty, law of connection, but then there's also the need of like growth and contribution.
Hmm.
And I remember him talking about like most people go through phases where when you're younger, you're really focused on like significance, you know, you're really focused on maybe certainty or uncertainty. And as you get older, like you wanna leave the world with, you know, making some impact, right? And your mind starts more focusing on like, hey, I want to contribute to the world, like I want to help somebody, right? And we see that too in our mastermind, you know, with Steve joining, you know, who's in a
Yeah,
similar position of he's just like, hey, I just want to help you guys, right?
exactly. I mean, Steve Schwab, I think his company represents 5,000 or 6,000 units around the world. And once he heard what we were doing with Legends X and Legends Mastermind, sent me an email. Hey man, how can I help? And we're like, oh, this is awesome. Like, you know, how do you want to help? And he's like, I just want to be in the room and supporting, giving my knowledge, giving my experience. Awesome. Well, here's the ticket. Come on down. And man, the amount of value that guy brought was unbelievable. You can't pay for that type of value,
Yeah.
which was unreal. So yeah, man. So that's awesome. So when we walk through to wrap this up, why don't you walk through like, who are we looking for within a coach, and then just drop the website again.
Yeah, for sure. So the best place to get this information is overnightsuccess.io/coach. We have a whole page with the requirements and everything, but the main thing is we need you to commit to at least like 8 hours a week. We need you to be running at least 100 units, or if you've built a business to over 100 units and you've sold it, that could work as well. And then there's some other things like, obviously, like we have to be a good culture fit in our company. You have to be passionate about wanting to grow as a person and having a positive impact on our students' life. And the
Mhm.
rest, the rest you can find on the page. Like we have a pretty dope hiring system that we teach in Legends X that we're using ourselves, right? So we have a web page, overnightsuccess.io/coach. You'll see there's an application. You click on the button to apply. There's an application that you have to fill out. We will then get a automated message in one of our Slack channels that our tech genius John has built for us. That we see a new application coming in, we review those applications on a weekly basis, and then we'll let you know that we've received your application. We'll go through it. We do have quite a few people who have applied. So just to kind of set those expectations. But I think in the future, we're always going to be looking for talented people to join our
Yeah.
coaching team. And the way that Legends X is growing right now, like we've gone from basically, like just us to now like the four of us already as coaches. So like it's going to grow quickly. So we're always going to have more opportunities. So even if this time didn't work out, like, it's good for us to have your information because there might be other opportunities to work together as well. So
That's right. That's right. Yeah, we plan on expanding this pretty aggressively. So yeah, we're gonna always be looking for some powerful team members. So awesome, man. I'm excited to talk to everybody. And yeah, if you guys have any question on coaching as far as like the benefits that we get by coaching others, and you have different ideas, reach out to us. We want to hear from you. If you are a short-term rental host and you want to grow and you have that feeling that you want to give back, look at where and who you can serve to support and share the lessons that you've learned through this process. I promise you it's going to help you grow your company. So
yeah,
um, awesome,
100%.
man. This is great. This is great.
100%. Yeah. And just to add one more thing to that, I remember when I first started teaching in the short-term rental space, like I felt there's this thing that I think John D. Loomis talks about where it's called this imposter syndrome, where you
Hmm.
kind of feel like, oh, do I really have, am I really an big enough expert to be doing this,
Right.
And I remember reading a book called Expert Enough. I don't know if you've heard about it,
No, I haven't.
but that book was like, for me, was like the motivation to actually start educating, because that book talks about how, if you that most of us, if you've been doing something for a while and you spend some time and effort into it, you're probably better at it than like 95% of other people,
Yeah.
right? And so you're already what he calls like an expert enough, right? You don't have to be the biggest expert in the world to start to organize a little workshop in your market or something, right? Or to start mentoring some people. So yeah, definitely step into that if you can, because that's gonna, yeah, it's gonna get you a lot of benefits for sure.
100%. Yeah, you're always an expert to someone who hasn't done it before, right? So and I want to be very clear. I'm not encouraging everyone to jump in and start creating courses and coaching companies. It's a whole nother beast to take that on. If you want to do that,
Mm,
obviously more power to you. I think that's incredible. But even on a small level, mentor and be like Mr. Beast, right? Who's like, he doesn't need to do that stuff, but he finds the right person and who's actually going to implement what he teaches them, and he shares what he's learning by doing what he's doing, right? Which is awesome. And it's forcing him to
mm,
be better at his art. So,
that's right.
but yeah, it's awesome, man. I love this. I love what we're doing, and I'm excited to continue to expand it.
And last but not least, if you're listening to this and you want to be coached by some of our coaches, then our application is still open for a few more days for our next class. This is going to be our 5th class. It starts at October 17th. So we only have like a week or so to enroll new students. So if you want to be on that class, make sure to submit your application by the end of today. strlegends.com/x is where you can find all the information about Legends X and how to apply. Boom. That's it.
Oh, I love
That's
it,
it. We're done.
man. Awesome, brother. Well, until next week.
Absolutely. So
That's it.
for everybody, thank you for listening. Have a great weekend. If you want to be a coach, you know where to go. overnightsuccess.io/coach. If you want to be a student, strlegends.com/x. Have a great weekend. We'll be back next week with another episode, and on Monday, of course. See you then.